Hey everybody, welcome back. We are on episode 14. We got a lot of new stuff today. We have a new segment. We're done with the Celeb Big Three, so now we're moving on to, Charlie, my AI. I asked him to think of a cool couple of segments, and he came up with, it's called Sign Me Up. I don't know what the fuck that means, why he made this segment Sign Me Up, but it's like 4 questions about a certain sign, and I'm going to answer them. I'm just going to answer them like on the spot. Like I'm going to think about it and just like do it right here. But so I didn't really write much about it. I just have the questions. But anyway, that's going to be our new segment. And we have a new sponsor, our first official sponsor for Crusty Crystal's podcast at Floored Media. So it is Christine Luisi's beautiful spa. It's a facial spa in Malvern, New York, on Long Island. It's called Collective Beauty Skincare Studio. Collective Beauty Skincare Studio in Malvern. I talked about her. I named her my shiny crystal a couple of episodes ago. She honestly is the best. And I've gone to many different eyebrow places. She does my eyebrows. Well, she's gonna do them again next week. I got them done like over a month ago. But she does the beautiful facials. She offers all kinds of services. We're going to get more info on her. We just sealed this little deal today, so we're going to get more info about her. But for now, we want to welcome Christine and the Collective Beauty Skincare Studio to the Crusty Crystals podcast as our first sponsor. So we're very excited about that. And welcome. Thank you for believing in us and jumping on the journey. So thank you, Christine. We love you. All right, so today's episode is about time. So much about time, but time is the topic. But first, let's do our shiny crystal of the week. Our shiny crystal of this week is my baby sister, Maria. I have 3 sisters. She's the youngest sister. We're like 9 years apart. I chose her for this episode because of the time aspect. Me and Maria, when we were younger, I have 3 sisters. I'm the second born, so we were 9 years apart. Our personalities are very strong personalities, very strong-headed. She was a little kid, so she would always be up my butt, outside my door. I'd be trying to hang out with my friends in the room, smoking, and she'd go tell my parents. She was like that little sister. So we always were at each other. And my other sisters and I have the older sister, so she used to, beat me up. And then I had my sister right below me. She was a little quieter. And then that sister right there, so she just would come at me. If I would say, get out of here, she would not get out of here. So, we always had that. But as we got older, we've gone through our differences, and now we're just super close, and we get each other, and we've just been vibing really well, and we've really come full circle in our relationship. And I chose her as my shiny crystal because she's just such a great mother, and I'm so impressed with her as a mom. She's got 2 little boys, and I'm super close to them, and we have this really very magical little relationship. I mean, listen, all my nephews and nieces, when they were little kids, little kids, it's magical when you got a little kid, then they become teenagers, and it's you try to figure out how you relate and connect to teenagers. I'm sure all of you as mothers know that teenage time is a little rough. But now, they got their 4 and 6. That's the best time when you got kids. So we're just having that moment right now. And me and my baby sister, we've really come full circle in our relationship. So that's why I said time, time changes everything. Sometimes for the best, sometimes for not the best. Time is really such an important aspect in life. And, I want to even say too, it's I would have thought there was a time period with me and my sister where we really we always loved each other. We always had love for each other, but I would say both of us were just not seeing eye to eye. And, I say this with pause, and I truly don't mean it, but I don't think we liked each other for a certain period of time. I think that we had such different ideas of life, and we had such different ideas of views on the world. And we were both very, stuck in our own perceptions. And I think also when she had children too, it softened her up a bit too, which I think helped a lot. And I grew, and I as I got older too, I softened up. You know, in your 40s, you soften, and that's what happens. So we're just in such a great place, and I adore her. I am so admirable of her and her parenting and just the woman that she has become. And she is my Shino Crystal this week because I'm just in awe. And I just wanted to give her that shout out. Maria, love you. Love all my sisters. And you're shiny crystals as well. You know that. But for this week, it's Maria. Really, you know, I'm happy about where our relationship has gone and what it has become. And time, man, time changes everything. Time heals all. Time sometimes brings people further apart, but time changes so much. Nothing is ever permanent, you know? And I would say this to you guys, if you guys are having a relationship that might be difficult, or there's a relationship in your family that, you know, you just can't seem to get on the same page, right? Or you guys just, you think, oh, we're so different and we're going to always fight and we're going to always bicker. That's not true, because time changes things. People change, people grow, people just, that's the beauty about humanity and your soul, is that you do change. You know, there are people though who don't, and there are people who, you know, don't ever talk to a certain friend or family member, or, you know, you could be best friends with somebody and then all of a sudden they're not in your life. So time is a bitch, but time is also beautiful. Time is all we have. Time is so valuable. So there you go. That's my shiny crystal this week, Maria. All right, let's go to our new segment. So our new segment is called Sign Me Up. My chat, Charlie, he came up with this idea. So I don't know what Sign Me Up means, but I'm going with it. Okay. So this week on Sign Me Up is Aries. We're going to start with Aries. So the first question in this segment is why you would want this person on your side in a crisis. So why would I want Aries on my side in a crisis? The reason I would want an Aries on my side in a crisis is because they love conquering things. You know, they love overcoming. They love to analyze. They love to be right. Oh my God. Aries loves to be right. They have to be, you would think Taurus is stubborn. Aries is 10 times more stubborn than a Taurus. I always say also, I've said many times, if you want the job done, give it to an Aries woman. Like if I had an office and I needed an office manager, I would hire an Aries woman. Like at the interview, I'd be like, what sign are you? Oh, you're a Pisces? Well, if you know an Aries, send her my way. Aries women, they get that shit done. So if I was in a crisis, I would definitely want an Aries on my side, because they also love strength. Aries pride themselves on their strength, female and male. They love their strength. So if I'm in a crisis and there's an Aries with me, I want them on my side because they're going to help get me through it. They're going to help push me. They love being a leader. They love being in charge. They love being in the front. So if I'm in a crisis, I can't be in charge or lead myself. So I need that energy. Like if you're in the hospital and you have an Aries with you, they will get things done. So love me an Aries energy. So that's why I would want them on my side in a crisis. The second question, and this is a little clunky right now because I'm introducing the new segment, so bear with me. So why are they unhinged in relationships? So that's the second question. So every week when we do this segment, these are going to be the same questions, but for a different sign, okay? So question 2, why they're unhinged in relationships. So why are Aries unhinged in relationships? Well, the list is very long. Aries, especially Aries men, they can be very childlike. They're very stubborn and they're explosive. Aries, men and women, the women definitely, they have that explosive energy. Don't try to tell them nothing because they will come at you. It's that fire. Oh my God. And there's no real, unless they have some Pisces or some Cancer, there's no sensitivity with an Aries. Even a Taurus that I am, we're stubborn, but we still have that sensitivity. Taurus is a feminine sign. So we have that that sensitivity. Aries is a masculine dominated sign, so it's just conquer. It's raw. It's like Caesar, like it's Alexander the Great. It's the Hun. Who's that? The Hun? Yeah, Attila the Hun, whatever that bitch is. I think he is like Attila the Hun. I feel like he would be an Aries or whatever that monster is. Anyway, but yes, Aries is, yeah, they can definitely be unhinged in relationships. But, they got you back. If they're your friend or your lover or your partner, they got your back. So, listen, we're all unhinged. So, toxic trait I admire. Oh, question 3. Toxic trait I admire in an Aries. So a toxic trait I admire in an Aries, I would say selfishness. Aries have a bit of selfishness to them. Their word, catchphrase, because every zodiac sign has a like a word, a catchphrase. Theirs is I am, or me, like something like that, like their word. They have a selfishness about them, and I admire that in a sense because they know how to get it done for them. It's them first, Again, remember this too. This is the sun sign, so your moon, your rising, that affects. So not every Aries is going to have a selfishness, and you guys who know astrology know that that's the case. So when I say this, it's a generalization about their sun sign. So if you have strong placements that are very generous, very other people first, or even like if you have some trauma in your life that makes you put other people first, there's so many things that affect you. So please, grain of salt. But selfishness. The Aries, they have that selfishness. I admire that because it's about me first. And that's, sometimes that's good for like success or for like when you want to accomplish something. If you're like thinking about yourself and like you and what you have to do, they're very focused on the challenge. They're very focused on conquering. So it's that I am, it's that me. That's awesome in a way. Obviously not, you don't want to be completely selfish. That can be a unhinged in a relationship thing. But yeah, I think it could be admirable in a way. Final question in our new segment in Sign Me Up. What they would bring. Oh, I like this one. So what would they bring to my healing retreat? What would an Aries bring to my healing retreat? I feel like an Aries would bring... I feel like they would bring pictures of their cats. They would bring pictures of their cats. I feel like, they would show me pictures of their stuff, of their things like, this is my cat. This is, they would definitely, I feel like they would bring weed gummies for everyone because I feel like Aries are very mothering. They do have that mothering energy in the sense of like taking care of and being like, I have everything we need. So they would come to the healing retreat and be like, I have the best thing for us. We're going to have weed gummies and then they would just take care of everybody. They do have that nurturing aspect, but they would mainly bring pictures of their shit, of their stuff, of their cats, of themselves. They'd be like, oh, this is a picture of me in Paris. This is a picture of me at Niagara Falls. They would love telling you about their vacation. So that's our new segment. It's called Sign Me Up. I wonder why chat titled it Sign Me Up. I mean, okay. I kind of remember at the end of what he said. At the end of this, he said, and then you could end each segment with sign me up or no, or something like that. I don't remember. I didn't write it down. I was so confused with why he said sign me up, or maybe I didn't like that part of it. I don't know. But yeah, sign me up. So with that Aries, I guess, is it sign me up or is it pass? I guess sign me up because I love an Aries energy. I like that little feisty fire. I don't know if I can date an Aries because I'm not really into that. Like, they're very babyish. They do a lot of tantrums and pouting. I don't really love that. But Aries females, I could be best friends with an Aries female any day. Love an Aries female because they're so ready for the journey. Love an Aries male too, but not for lovers, not for relationships. Friends, fine. But yeah, I couldn't date an Aries. Let's just say that. Okay, so let's get to our main topic today. Our main topic is time. Why is time so precious? Well, time is so precious because it's fleeting. Time is like all we have. Time is so valuable because you never know when you're out of time. Sometimes, think about it. If you have a party and you have 4 hours at the party, you have 4 hours to celebrate. You have 4 hours to dance, to eat, to mingle, to open gifts. Like, time is like that, it's not infinite. It's not infinite time is infinite for your soul, because when you pass away, your energy goes into the universe or heaven, the universe, heaven, whatever you call it. It's around. So for your soul, time is continuous. But for your body, your physical being, your humanity, time is extremely delicate, and it's really important. So that's why, like, one of the things I tell people, take chances, in your life. I tell friends this, like, take chances. Like, don't be afraid to do things. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Don't be afraid to, like, chase a dream, like, in my whole life, like, I've always, if I wanted to do something, if I wanted to try it, if I loved it enough or was passionate about it, I did it. I would take that chance. As outlandish as something might sound, even like coming out as a medium, or a psychic medium, that was taking a chance, because especially coming from the comedy world, they probably look at me like I'm crazy or bullshitting, like, there's plenty of people who don't believe in what we do. So that's taking a chance. So I stand behind that. Take a chance. If you believe in something, in your soul, in your gut, in your heart, take a chance. Do it. That's what we're here for. We're not here to play it safe. Obviously, be safe, right? You don't want to be like, there are people who love adrenaline rushes, and I was watching some TikToks, and I was like captivated by it. It was snowboarders. I was watching TikToks of snowboarders, and they were just on these mountains. It made me think I could snowboard. Like, I was like, oh my God, I got to get a snowboard. I got to go to Aspen. Like, they were just Colorado, just on this like fresh powder. That's what they call it, the powder. And they would just hook in the trees. I would be fucking lost. Like, I would have to bring s'mores, because I would be in the tree. That's it. We're here now. Now we live here. This is where we live now, because I can't get down the rest of this mountain, because I'm like on a board and the way your feet are just connected, like, I don't know if I can maneuver it. I'm in my 40s now. My bones don't really move the way that they used to. Like, but they were just in the trees. Like, I would be camped out. I'd be like, that's it now. Like, send my mail here. Like, tree 3. Like, this is where I live. There's no, I'm not getting down the rest of this mountain on this board, Skis, I feel like you're a little more free with the skis. But I went skiing in high school once. That was the last time. I was flying down this icy hill with no brakes. Like, I was like, this isn't happening again. This is it. I could do sleigh riding. I'm a sleigh rider. Like, I love a sleigh ride. Get me in the sleigh. We are just ho, 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 Nat King Cole. I am just jingle bells all the way on the sleigh. I am a slayer. Like, I could kill a sleigh. But a snowboard and a skis, that's a whole nother. But watching these TikToks made me think, shit, I could do this. I am ready to powder up, But they were in the trees. That was the most impressive part to me, the trees. When they were in the trees. And I really like snow. I love the white, like that fresh, like the sun bounces off of it. Like, I just love that. I love the crisp air. And I said to myself, maybe if I was in my 20s or 30s, I would have definitely tried some snowboarding. But not now, that's for sure. But yeah, take chances, man. Like, do it. Like, that's what life is about. If there's something that you've been dreaming about or wanting to try, if you can, like, I know, if you have children or you have like a lot of responsibilities, it's harder to take chances. I get that, right? But I feel like where there's a will, there's a way. And, if you have family that can help you, or if they support you, do it, like, swallow your pride. Pride don't get you anywhere. Pride keeps you down. Pride keeps you anchored, like, life's about helping. Life's about being in it together. If you have family that's supportive, give it a shot. If there's something you want to do or you want to try, that's what life's about. Like, the time is now. Also, like, when what made me really started to value time is my dog. When I got my dog, I realized, their lives aren't 20, 30 years, not even 15 years for a lot of dogs. And I was like, holy shit, I love this dog so much. So, like, every minute is like so important. So I don't just leave him home if I don't have, if I have to, like, it's funny because I had to actually break myself away. Like, I used to, like, when I was in LA, if I would go do a podcast, I would bring him with me if I could. And it was too much. It was just like, it was like too unfocused. So I've had to, like, learn to, like, leave him home. But yeah, kids, hanging out with my nephews and nieces, and also seeing how fast they grow up, like having older nephews and nieces now that are teenagers, and then having the two young ones, I realize, because when they were young, you don't realize how quick it goes and how precious it is. So, I moved to LA when my older nephews and nieces, my older nephew and nieces were younger. So I moved to LA at that time. I was younger too. So again, when you're younger, you're just kind of like, fuck it, we got all the time in the world. And, next thing I knew, they're older. And then they're different people. So, they have their own life, right? They're not like, you're not like this big, cool commodity. They're doing their own thing. But then I got the second chance with these little guys, right? Because again, my baby sister's 9 years younger than me. So now I got this like second wind, and, I come back to New York and I'm spending all this time with them. And it's like, wow, this isn't going to last forever. Like in a blink, all of a sudden they're 9, 10. Once they start getting to that preteen age, they're still babies, but they start to get a little less, the wonder of it all, So they really made me realize how important and valuable time is, and it's like, you want to just spend all those moments with them. So time is so important. And then you have, when you get older and, you're an elder and you're reaching that time, you're in your 80s and you're like, that's got to be scary, man. Like I try to, as an empath, I put myself in that position and I'm like, that's got to be hard to feel like, wow, like time is running out. So I would say this, like the way to keep your spirit alive is the way you make people feel, like it's not about like the things, it's about how you make them feel. The people you encounter in your life, everyone from like the homeless person to your best friend, to your own child, to your grandchildren, to your nieces, your nephews, your coworker, the way you make people feel, that stays with them. That lives in them. Things come and go, things go, but the way you make someone feel, that memory, it stays with them. That's how you keep your soul alive on earth. Your soul's going to be alive, right? And you're going to still see people living. But the way to keep your soul present on earth is the way you make people feel when you're here on earth. Even like say it's just some random person that you have an interaction with at a store, and you make each other feel great, or you bring them out of that bad day. You never know. Like sometimes people, think about your own memories. There's a couple of random people that I encountered that made me feel a great way, or or they affected my life. A teacher possibly when I was in school that I'll always remember. Miss Carcatera, my biology teacher. I'll always have a special place in my heart for her. Because when one day when she passes on, and if I'm still alive on this earth, I'm going to always feel Miss Carcatera. So it's about the way you make people feel while you're living. That's how you keep your soul alive on earth when you're on the other side, when you're in the next dimension. So remember that. Just make people make them feel good, make them feel happy, make them feel seen, make them feel heard, Listen when you're talking to people. That's a big thing. Like really be present with people when you're talking to them, because people, they can sense when you're not really listening or when you're not present. But when people feel heard and you're connecting on that level, that's palatable. That stays with people. So yeah, be present when you're talking to people. Also, did you know that dogs experience time? Well, okay, here's the thing. There's the myth that dogs don't know time. That's not true. They fucking know time. They don't know like the 24-hour clock. They don't know, they say, oh, they don't know that it's been 5 hours. Sure, because they don't know what 5 hours is. But they feel 5 hours. They feel it. So they know. Just because they don't know it's 9 p.m. now, they know you've been gone for that long because they smell you less. That is common. I'm sure a lot of you know that. Like your scent is less, so they know you've been gone for longer. They can actually smell the air that is, oh, it's the afternoon. Oh, it's nighttime air. They can sense the the time of the day by their scent. So that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that. Like they know, oh, smells like nighttime, you know? So they know. What I loved most, what I learned about dogs is, I think I kind of knew this, but this solidified it when I was learning about this. They are present moment creatures. Like literally, dogs are they don't remember the past. They don't think about the future. They are literally present moment creatures. And that's one of the greatest experiences I've had with my dog is like, he does teach me to just be in the moment. Obviously, you know, I worry about him in the future. You know, I think about things in the past, like, oh my God, did I do this wrong? Did I do that? They don't give a shit. They truly are present moment creatures. They don't care. They could be because their brains aren't as big as ours, but that's amazing. They are in the moment. Also, I wanted to say this. Humans are not meant to be working as hard as we are. Time is so valuable. Time is so important. Humans are meant to be doing things, you know, like back in the day, the berries and the buffalo, they had the hunter and the gatherer, right? Those, you know, they got to go out and get the foliage. Yes, they're meant to be doing things for survival. They're not meant to be working 50, 60 hours for someone else. It's not normal. It's not to be, you know, yes, that's our version of survival, right? You got to work all those hours so that you could have the things that you want and you want to survive, right? You want to be a working adult. But like the amount of work we're doing, that's why the capitalism and the things and the stuff, we have to figure out a way as society to like reel that in and not be so focused on stuff. Experience is more important. Use your money on experiencing things. Use your money on doing stuff rather than buying shit, you know? Even like, if you're rich and you have there's people who have houses with 10 bedrooms. The fuck do you need 10 bedrooms for? Like, yeah, sure, you can do it. You have the money, right? But you don't need it. It's crazy that you would spend so much time working to make those millions so you could have 10 bedrooms? Unless you have a huge family and you're like having everyone stay over all the time, so those 10 bedrooms are filled, or you got a bed and breakfast going on, you don't need 10 bedrooms. It was a house with 14 bathrooms? Absurd. Like, who are you, Aladdin? Like, why do you have so many? You don't live in a palace. What do you have 14 bathrooms for? That is so obsessive. So you're working so hard to get those 14 bathrooms? Does not make sense. Stop working so hard. Spend time with your loved ones. Spend time traveling. Spend time dining out. Spend time like doing things. Spend time, bringing people to show them stuff. Like, spend time like connecting with somebody, you want to get a massage. You want to spend money doing that stuff. Spend money on well-being, Even therapy, if you're going to a therapist, great. Spend money on that. Like, spend money on yourself, on well-being, on experiences. It doesn't make sense to spend money on stuff. So think about that. And also I would say, while you're on this earth, while you do have the time, while you're here, express how you love, express and communicate to the people you care about, forgive, let go. Tell the people you love them, like even like with my dog and my family, like I love to tell people I love you. I love to send a text. I love to communicate. I'll give you a paragraph text expressing myself to you. Every card I give, I'm writing a whole thing. Even if it sounds like it's the same thing, I don't give a shit. I can't tell you enough how much I love you and appreciate you. That's so important. And sometimes you could feel people who are uncomfortable with receiving expression of love, but give it. Don't waste time. You don't have tomorrow always, So I think it's important to communicate that and express it while you have the time and you're here. I'm excited though to see what the next realm is like, I only know what I know like by doing readings and connecting to spirit and like getting information from them and getting like a gist, but I kind of am excited. Listen, I'm not saying to the universe, I want you to take me and put me there, but when my time comes, I'm excited to see what that's like. Oh my goodness. When the body is just done, I don't got to worry about like the kidneys and the liver and the stomach and this and that. And, I'm floating around in the universe, seeing everything. I call spirits. So when I'm doing readings, I tell my people, like, for me, when I'm getting information from spirit, they're like a satellite system. Spirits are like a satellite system. They see everything that's going on, and then they just inform me and tell me to tell you. So that's cool as shit. Like, one day we'll all be a satellite system for the people on Earth. That's pretty awesome. Without all the hormones and the emotions and all the frustration and memory and regret. No, you're just free as a bird. You're more than free as a bird, because even birds have nervous systems. You're just light. You're just energy. You're just floating around. So that's pretty exciting. I'm excited to see that time period. But I did also learn too in life, keeping busy versus not being busy, even though, yes, you're not supposed to be working like 60 hours a week for someone else, make them rich and just to pay your bills to survive. But when you're busy, you're less anxious. But when you're too busy, then you might be too anxious. So you got to find like a balance, busy versus not being busy. Very, very, very fine balance. You got to find that middle ground. When you're not busy at all and you have a lot of time on your hands, when you have too much time on your hands, that's when you start to that's why pandemic was rough and being isolated was rough and quarantine was rough. If you didn't have somebody with you, if you were by yourself, it was hard because you shouldn't have too much time on your hands. So yes, you shouldn't be working like a machine and you shouldn't be doing nothing. You got to find that middle ground. When you're not doing a lot, it's too much time to be thinking. Your mind starts making things up. You start to analyze too much. You got to find that middle ground. And last but not least of this topic, the scrolling on social media. Girl, I got to tell you, it is so bad for you. I say give yourself some time. It's not like being a couch potato and watching TV, because with TV, you have like half hour, an hour, a movie, an hour and a half. So you have longer periods. It's the scrolling is what's bad. I'm not saying don't seek entertainment or don't watch stuff or listen to things, but the scrolling is so bad because it's like 30 seconds, 5 seconds, 1 second, a minute, 2 minutes. And it's so bad for your dopamine receptors. I did a month of zero social media. It was before I had the podcast, so I didn't have to like post stuff. So I was off social media completely. I promise you, I was rejuvenated. I was like, oh, what am I going to go do now? And that's when I started my garden. I was like, my hands were in the dirt. It wasn't on my phone. Then I started my podcast, so I had to start posting. And then, then the algorithm gets you. Oh, did people like it? Did the comments? So you start like checking back in. It's a sick, twisted little thing, social media. So I would be careful with that. That really is something I could probably do a whole episode on social media, but you really have to catch yourself because you can go hours just scrolling. Those little dopamine hits are really bad for your dopamine receptors. And it burns it out, or and then you're like here with the dopamine, and once you're trashed on dopamine, it just starts to make you depressed and anxious and doom. And I promise you, scrolling is really, really bad. Don't let your kids do it. It's really bad. All right, well, that's it for the time topic. Let's get to our voice note astrology. We are loving this segment. I really love hearing from you guys with the voice note astrology. I think it's really cool. And so thank you for participating. So give it a whirl, Jay.
Hey, Thomas. It has been so fun to listen to the podcast every week, and I honestly look forward to it every Monday. It's a fun way to start the week and to see how I connect to it throughout the week. And so I really appreciate what you're doing here. I am a Taurus sun, Capricorn moon, and Gemini rising. And my boyfriend is a Pisces sun, Virgo moon, and Leo rising. And my question is, we have no problem like communicating with each other, but we're both pretty stubborn. And I don't know if you have any tips or tricks on like understanding him more clearly. Um, he's very into signs and very much believes in how they drive us all. And I'd be interested in some more insight on how to better communicate and understand with him.
Well, thank you so much for that one. That's a good one. I right away, once you said that you're both stubborn, I saw right in your moon signs, you being Capricorn moon and him being Virgo moon, right there, that Earth, even though, well, Virgo and Taurus are good, Taurus and Capricorn are good. I don't know how Capricorn and Virgo get. That's an interesting mix. I don't think I know many Virgo Capricorn mixes. So that's pretty interesting. I think you're both very stubborn. That is, and then I noticed the Leo rising in him. So that Leo rising and then his Virgo moon, both very stubborn signs. But what seals the deal is his Pisces sun. And him being a man, a straight man especially, Pisces sun, it's a very sensitive, intuitive, emotional sign, Pisces. So for straight men, it's hard for them to kind of like understand that and to connect with it because whether it be because of how straight men are raised or just the hormonal thing, straight men in general I just think are more, they're sensitive and emotional, but they're more like logic driven in their mind. So I think they try to like analyze feelings, so they could be like robotic. So I think what happens with him is because he's Virgo Leo, so those are stubborn and strong signs. He's got that Pisces sun, so he gets very stubborn about his emotions. And then you, being a Taurus Capricorn girl, that's super stubborn. And then you got the Gemini rising. That makes me feel hopeful. Like that's a saving grace, the Gemini rising. But also the Gemini rising could be a little bit wacky or aloof, So you thank God you have that Taurus Capricorn because that grounds you more. But that Gemini rising might make you not realize what his emotions are saying. And I think that I just keep hearing in my head, he's not understanding his feelings. So that actually makes sense too, because his moon is in Virgo. They're very analytical and they analyze things to death. But that's why I love my Virgos, because I feel like I can go to them, like they've thought about it, they've thought about it all. But when you put that with Pisces and he's got these emotions, and then the Leo rising, Leo men especially are very sensitive and very, they get offended easily, or like they get upset. They get, like butthurt. So with that Pisces, I think he's having a tough time understanding his emotions. And I would say to you, try to be more patient with him. But the problem here is your rising being Gemini, you lose patience. Thank God, though, for your Taurus Capricorn, because it does give you some more groundedness. But I think then even too, I'm getting hit with you lose patience. I think you have to be more patient with him because he's trying to understand his emotions more. And I think that he's trying to be more comfortable with, you said, he loves signs and stuff. So he's definitely more open to his sensitivity and his emotions. He's not as robotic, I would say, just by you saying that, not like a hit from spirit or astrology. By you saying that, I feel like, he's at least open. But I think he's having a tough time understanding his emotions. I would say for him, stop analyzing it and stop taking everything so personal. And I would say for you, be a little more sensitive and patient with him. And I think then if you can both do that, that can help. All right, my love. Thank you so much for that note. So I've decided, so remember with the final thought, I used to write it out. And, because I'm a writer, so like I would like to write little poems or I would like to write poignant things. I decided last week I did it on the fly. Like I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like give my final thought like with what I feel with the episode. So I'm going to do that from now on. I'm not going to just pre-write it. Every now and then if I have a cute little poem that I wrote, I want to share with you guys, I'll do that. But for the most part, I'm just going to give my final thought. Okay. I wonder if one day I'll add music to the background. But anyway, okay. So my final thought today, time really is all that matters. Time is all that we have, because when you don't have time anymore, you don't have anything physically. Time continues, time doesn't end, but time on earth is extremely important. And I would say to everyone, value your time, value other people's time, and value the time you have in each moment, because each moment is so, so important. Every moment is so important, especially when it's involved with other people. Enjoy the time you have, because the time you have may not be there tomorrow. Share your time, give your time, feel your time, and enjoy it, because time is really all we have. All right, my little Crusties, thank you so much for being here again. Thank you for supporting. Please share the podcast with everyone. Tell your friends. Tell everyone. Post about it. Please comment, like it. You know, I'm going to tell you guys this. I say all the time, comment and like. Like, I know most of you listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but for my YouTube guys, you know, I'll see, like, let's say, like, it says like 100 views just off the top. There should be 100 likes, okay? Or like just hit the thumb for me, because the more you hit the thumb, the more it gets shown, or the algorithm picks it up. Just hit the thumb. Guess what? Even if you don't like the episode, hit the thumb. Share your like, okay? Thank you guys. Follow us on the all the socials. Crusty Crystals Pod on Instagram, Thomas Dale 5 on Instagram. Check out Floored Media if you guys are ever in Long Island. We did look at the analytics. There's a lot of people in Long Island listening. If you ever want to do a podcast, or if you need a camera person, my guy takes amazing pictures. Jay from Floored Media. Check him out. And keep coming back. We love you guys. Thank you.